Welcome to Mastering Solutions. Let's draw an arrow to represent our lens here. So here is our converging lens, and they tell us that this lens has a focal length of 10 centimeters, and we need to figure out a ray diagram for where to put the wood to where we can actually start the fire with it, right? And so if we draw a line right through the center, when we're talking about light coming from the sun, the light rays are what we would call collimated. That means that all of the light rays are perfectly parallel to each other. And so we could draw a whole bunch of arrows here to represent all of these light rays because the sun is extremely far away and it is, for all intents and purposes, our closest source to getting a true point source. And so here are all our light rays coming from the sun. And when it's collimated, like I said, that means they're all parallel coming from a point source of light from infinity. Now, obviously, we're never going to get true, perfectly collimated light, but the sun is a very close source. Now, where do we want to focus this? We tell us that the focal length is 10 centimeters. So we'll say right here is the focal length 1. And over here is also the 10 centimeters, the focal length 2. So this distance here is 10 centimeters, and this distance here is also 10 centimeters. So if we want to focus the light rays at the best spot where all of the light rays are perfectly parallel to each other, that by definition will be the focal point. So as the light rays come through, they will all come perfectly through the focal point. And I'll draw it as close as I can. And then all of them will focus. They'll all focus right through the center of the lens, as you can see we've done here. So this question really is just trying to re-emphasize the point that when you have collimated or parallel light rays to each other, what will happen is, by definition, they will focus at the focal point. That is what the focal point is. That's where the light rays focus with parallel light. And so if you have a converging lens and you're lost out in the wilderness, then yeah, you could try a lens to do that. If you have a diverging lens, it's probably not going to help you out a whole lot because it's diverging the light, right? Not focusing it. But here is your ray diagram for this question, and they don't ask us to calculate anything because we're given the focal point of 10 centimeters.